Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you all for being here today to engage in the conversation and to share the love on the most appropriate day to share the love. I want to thank all of my friends and family and my soon-to-be or just not yet friends who are watching remotely. And I also want to thank future me, who is going to be watching this on YouTube and criticizing every word that comes out of my mouth. Torture, right? It's good to be back on this stage, and I don't mean this stage as in the State of State stage, because this is my first time here, but this is the stage where I and my team get to do our work. We are in the business of welcoming new students, and this is the stage where it takes place, all summer long. As the director of student orientation and transition programs, it's been a privilege to bring a new experience to Penn State. Something in the form of new student orientation, which the juniors and seniors in the room are like, what? Formerly FitCap. Now we're all on the same page. What's important to keep in mind is that I do not have the change of campus experience, and I am not coming to the stage as someone who does, but I am on the receiving end of the change of campus transition, which is what brings me here. But there's something I want to share with you all. I'm a runner, right? And this is probably the most boss photo of me running that you will ever see. This is at mile 23 of the Marine Corps Marathon. Yeah, I knew there was a photographer. I posed. I share that I'm a runner because if there are other runners in the room, you know there is nothing we love more than to talk about running. Right? So it's only really a matter of time before I was to tell you that anyway. And when runners get together, and when runners hang out, and when runners, they're chatting, they're like, oh, what's your pace? What's your mileage? What's your meal plan? You know, did you use the GOO? Did you use the chew? Did you use, right? All these things. Oh, did you lose a toenail this week? I did. But why I share that is because there's something that runners and change of campus students have in common. Is that when you ask a change of campus student about their experience, they will tell you. Just like if you ask me about my Marine Corps Marathon experience, I will tell you. There is power in that story, and those stories are what's brought me to this stage. What also brought me to this stage beyond just the change of campus experience are change of campus students themselves. I literally owe my job to the transition experience of change of campus students, largely in part because the university has been paying attention to the story, and I know there are often times where it says the administration doesn't listen, and I had a rough moment a couple years ago when I realized I was the administration. But a couple years ago, the university started to do their work, and those conversations resulted in the 2009, 2010 to 2013-14 university strategic plan. And strategy 1.3 of that plan was to improve key transition experiences. So what did the strategic plan acknowledge? Well, it said that students encounter some of the greatest difficulties of their educational experience during key transitions. For many, this was between high school and college, but it also spoke specifically to the experience of students coming from a Commonwealth campus to University Park. So strategy 1.3 wanted to achieve just that. The Student Transition Steering Committee was developed out of that strategy, and they started the initial change of campus programming experience, and after that was up for a couple of years, they decided that it was necessary for an office to provide some leadership and oversight. And that's where my job and our office came from, the Office for Student Orientation and Transition Programs. If you were to ask people who I am, they would say I'm the new student orientation guy. And while I have often toyed with changing my Twitter handle to @thatorientationguy, my job is much more than just that, and our mission is much more than just new student orientation. We, through collaborative partnerships, provide a comprehensive learning experience for Penn State undergraduate students that supports a successful academic, social, and personal transition to the university. Not just first-year students, not just students coming to University Park, but our commitment is to Penn State undergraduate students to be able to support them in these times of transition. When I first arrived at Penn State, I went on a campus tour of sorts, sometimes a university tour, explaining what new student orientation was, explaining that it was more than just name games and icebreakers and those drive-by messages about campus safety that are often so popular in TV shows and on movies. I do think that a similar conversation, is needed about the change of campus process, and I just want to take a minute to explain the process for you all, because I think that demystifying the process would help shape the conversation. The change of campus process actually begins with new student orientation at the student's originating campus. The phrase "one university geographically dispersed" means that we have a shared set of mission, a shared set of values that needs to go into the conversation about being a Penn Stater. That at new student orientation, like I just said, it's beyond name games and icebreakers. New student orientation is where you begin to understand what it means to be a learner at Penn State and what skills will be necessary for you to be resilient in your time here, to be curious, to learn, to ask questions, to seek help. Throughout the first year, there are opportunities like programs that link up, like we have coming up later in March. Visit program for first-year students at the Commonwealth campuses gives them a sense or an idea of what the change of campus process includes or what it might look like. The Commonwealth campuses are also doing their set of programming. They know that not every student is going to finish at their campus, that some of them are looking for an experience to go somewhere else, or their major may take them somewhere else. So the Commonwealth campuses are doing their own share of programming. Then, in the fall of the sophomore year, towards the end of the fall of the sophomore year, you all, or students, if you're not a student, get some information about the entrance to major process, where you finally get that opportunity to declare once and for all your major and what direction you want to go in. Sometimes that direction includes changing the campus that you're enrolled in, or just seeking a different campus experience. That process takes place in the spring of the sophomore year, and with that, the change of campus transition begins. I often have people tell me, you know what you really need to do here at University Park? We need a change of campus orientation program. I agree. That's why we've been doing it for the last 5 years. There is a problem, though, with the change of campus orientation in that we only get about a quarter to a third of the students who are changing to University Park to attend. And I know why. Well, there's a couple reasons why. One is it's the day before classes start, and as you can all attest, that's probably the worst day to hold an orientation program on. It's not like you all have other things to do, other things to transition to get back to the semester. But it's also because if I heard the word orientation, I didn't understand what orientation was. I would assume I've already been to orientation, I've already gone through this process, I know what it means and what it takes. Our orientation process needs to continue. And so earlier when I said that being up on this stage is a place where we do our work, I also think it's appropriate that I'm on this stage to hold myself and our office accountable for enhancing that transition experience, just like John just discussed, for our change of campus students. The process, it is important to note, that I just outlined does not speak to every transition experience, but it is the most common path that many take. So far, we've already talked a little bit about this experience that we have at UP, this perception, I think, of this, I picture a gated castle, a moat, perhaps, where people are climbing the walls to get to us, right? Because apparently what we have here is just so great. Well, I think it's important that when I talk to change of campus students, many of them wish they could stay where they started. They have a better educational experience. They feel more connected to their community. They have more opportunities for them in their path there. There's this UP-centric experience that we're all part of that I think gets in the way of us being able to welcome new students to our campus. There's other also pinch points in the process. For example, entrance to major takes place in the spring. As you all know at University Park who have ever looking for housing in the spring, usually results in the fact that you're already fully rented, all right? And so what do you have left? You have housing that is available on the outskirts of town. Because naturally, on the first day of class, not only do I not know what classroom I'm going to, but I don't know what letter bus I'm looking for, what color route I'm looking for. And we all think, oh yes, the buses. Ask a first-year student in the first couple of weeks about the buses, and they too will tell you they have no idea what is going on. That is a shared University Park experience. One of the biggest pieces that I want to just mention is this identity that comes with being a Change of Campus student. Change of Campus students have great pride in where they came from. And when I talk to them, they talk about their biggest issue at University Park is the opportunity to not tell their story, to not be who they are, to not bring their shared experiences to the table. Just yesterday, I had a conversation with one of those students, and if there's one thing that I can do, it would be to encourage you all to help me in celebrating the Change of Campus experience when you meet them in your student organization or in your classroom. So what do? Well, it's time for us to step up. I said I'm going to hold myself accountable, and my team and I are getting to work to see how we can enhance the orientation experience for Change of Campus students. That's one place we're starting. Part of my role on campus is to create a space where students feel empowered, supported, to develop solutions that they see to the challenges in front of us. I'm happy about my relationship, a budding relationship with a Campus Connect student organization, a student group of Change of Campus students who are working hard every day to make a social connection for students while they're here. I'm excited to work with UPUA and CCSG on their Change of Campus Commission to start to address some of these challenges and just the individual students that I have the opportunity to interact with on a daily basis. Whenever you look at a minority population or a group that has often felt excluded from their community, over time and over history, we have always put the pressure of them to feel more welcomed on the population, as if they have a role to play in making a place feel more welcoming for themselves. That's where we all come in. It's on us to make it a better experience for our Change of Campus students, to make them feel more welcome at University Park. Change of Campus students need allies. I'm working on becoming an ally, and I would like you all to join me in becoming an ally as well. That we can do more, change the perceptions of what those students, how those students experience University Park when they get here, the value that they bring to our university, and the opportunities that they present us as a campus to do incredible things. And I want to help you. I want to help you get started by being an ally. So I want to borrow a phrase from Harvey Milk, gay rights activist, first openly elected gay official in San Francisco. And I want to say, my name is Dan Murphy, and I'm here to recruit you. If you go to orientation.psu.edu/recruit, there's an opportunity for you to get involved in today. On March 28th, we're bringing first-year Change of Campus students to University Park to explain the process to them. I want UP students alongside Change of Campus students to talk about this place, the power that is here, the opportunity that is available, and how we can all work together, Change of Campus students, University Park students, and university administration, my office, me, in making an impact on this experience for everybody. Thank you all so much.